Hello all, welcome to my channel. Now we'll discuss some news which is trending in India today. So let's get in the topic. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on Wednesday morning held a high-profile meeting with Chief of Defense Staff Bipin Rawat and Chiefs of Army, Navy and Air Force on the situation along the Indian-China border. Hours after Prime Minister Narendra Modi discussed the issue with his top ministers. After the meeting, Rajnath Singh tweeted, "The loss of soldiers in Galwan is deeply disturbing and painful. Our soldiers displayed exemplary courage and valor in the line of duty and sacrificed their lives in the highest traditions of the Indian Army. The nation will never forget this bravery and sacrifice. My heart goes out to the families of the fallen soldiers. The nation stands shoulder to shoulder with them in this difficult hour. We are proud and bravery of the courage of India's brave hearts," he added. De-escalating the tension along the line of actual control appeared to be the top agenda to ensure that no further trouble is forbidden. Late Tuesday night, Modi held a meeting with Rajnath Singh, Home Minister Amit Shah, External Affairs Minister Jay Shankar and Finance Minister Nirmala Sitaram to take the stock of the situation after the army announced that 20 Indian soldiers were killed in the violent standoff in the Galwan Valley. Army Chief M.N. Narwan was also present. Sources said the condition of 4 Indian soldiers is very critical. Army officials described the situation as unprecedented. They will be releasing the names of all those killed in the incident zone. The families of those deceased have been informed, the army has been said. So the next topic is Rahul Gandhi has started questioning Narendra Modi on China-India face-off. Stepping up attack against the PM Modi-led government, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi on Wednesday accused Prime Minister Modi of going into hiding over the clashes between Indian and Chinese troops in Ladakh. Why is the PM silent? Why is he hiding? Enough is enough. We need to know what happened, the former Congress president said. Rahul's sharp remarks comes a day after 20 Indian soldiers were killed in a violent face-off with Chinese troops at Galwan Valley in the eastern Ladakh. How dare China kill our soldiers? How dare they take our land? Rahul Gandhi added. The opposition parties have expressed shock over the developments in eastern Ladakh and asked the government to brief the political leadership on India-China clashes. In a parliament democracy, it is expected of the government to brief the leadership of the political parties of the ground situation, considering the grave implications. Senior Congress leader Anand Sharma has said. So the next topic is United States accused China of throwing punches and provoking our neighbors. China is throwing punches and provoking its neighbors at a time when everyone expected that it would re-announce confrontation and focus on the country's economy. A top former US diplomat on Asian affairs has said in the wake of escalating border tensions between India and China. 20 Indian Army personnel, including a colonel, were killed in the clash with Chinese troops in the Galwan Valley in eastern Ladakh on Monday night, the biggest military confrontation in over 5 decades that has significantly escalated the already volatile border face-off between the two countries. China is throwing punches and provoking its neighbors at a time when you would be thinking Beijing would want to ease up confrontation and focus on the economy at home. Instead, Chinese Premier Xi Jinping is making a conscious appeal to Chinese nationalism and appears to be calculating that China can handle the consequences of these actions. China's GDP took the worst hit since the disastrous Cultural Revolution 1976, plummeting by 6.8% in the first quarter of 2020 as the country took unprecedented measures to fight the coronavirus pandemic that brought the world's second largest economy to a standstill. Roosevelt was former US President Barack Obama's point person on Asian affairs and was most recently serving as Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian and Pacific Affairs. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres also expressed concern over reports of violence and deaths at the line of actual control between India and China and urged both sides to exercise maximum restraint. We are concerned about reports of violence and deaths at LAC between India and China and urge both sides to exercise maximum restraint. We take positive note of reports that two countries have engaged to de-escalate the situation. Associate spokesperson of the Secretary General has told today in press briefing. So the next topic is North Korea rejects South Korea's offer of envoys. North Korea on Wednesday rejected South Korea's offer to send special envoys to ease escalating tensions over defector activity and stalled reconciliation efforts and vowed to redeploy troops to border areas. The announcements made by state media agency came a day after North Korea blew up a joint liaison office set up in a border town as part of 2018 peace agreement between the two countries' leaders. Any moves to invalidate cross-border peace deals pose a major setback to South Korea's President Moon Jae-in's efforts to foster more lasting reconciliation with the North. They could also complicate efforts by US President Donald Trump, already grappling with the coronavirus pandemic and anti-racism protests, to persuade Pyongyang to abandon its nuclear and missile programs. On Monday, Moon offered to send his National Security Advisor Ching and Spy Chief Su Horn as special envoys, KCNA said. But the sister of North Korean leader and a senior ruling official flatly rejected the tactless and sinister proposal. The solution to the present crisis between the North and South, caused by the incompetence and irresponsibility of the South Korean authorities, is impossible and it can be terminated only when proper price is paid, North Korean agency has said. The next topic is India set for comfortable victory in United Security Council elections. India is expected to register a comfortable victory in the Security Council elections on Wednesday that will bring the country to the United Nations high table as a non-permanent member for the 2021-22 term. The 193-member UN General Assembly will hold elections for President of the 75th section of the Assembly. 5 non-permanent members of the Security Council and members of the Economic and Social Council under special voting arrangements put in place at the United headquarters due to COVID-related restrictions. India is all set to join the powerful 15-nation Security Council as a non-permanent member. India is a candidate for non-permanent seat from the Asia-Pacific category for the 2021-22 term. India's victory is certain since it is the sole candidate vying for the lone seat from the grouping. New Delhi's candidature was unanimously endorsed by the 55-member Asia-Pacific group, including China, Pakistan in June last year. WWF warns conditions are ripe for the next pandemic. While the world continues to grapple with the devastating consequences of coronavirus, leading conservationist organization WWF has called for urgent global action to address the key drivers which will cause future zoonotic disease outbreaks. In a report, COVID-19 urged call to protect people and nature, WWF says that the environmental factors driving the emergence of zoonotic diseases are the trade and consumption of high-risk wildlife, land use change leading to deforestation and conversion expansion of agriculture, and unsustainable intensification and animal production. Numerous warnings from scientists and thought leaders such as the World Economic Forum have been made about the risk of global pandemic. WEF ranked pandemics and infectious disease as one of the top global risks over a decade ago, posing an acute threat to human life. In a press statement, Marco Lambertini, Director General of WWF International, said, "We must urgently recognize the links between the destruction of nature and human health, or we will not see the next pandemic. We must curb the high-risk trade and consumption of wildlife, halt deforestation and land conversion as well as manage food production sustainably. All these actions will help prevent the spillover of pathogens to humans." So thank you for watching this video today. I will see you tomorrow with another video.